The breaking news tonight, John Durham's investigation into the corrupt origins of the Russia probe turning into a full-fledged criminal investigation. We're now learning it may have turned criminal based on what Mr. Durham and Attorney General Barr learned during a recent trip to Rome. The Daily Beast reports Durham and Barr were interested in what the Italian Secret Service knew about Joseph Mifsud, a professor from Malta who allegedly promised then-candidate Donald Trump's campaign advisor, George Papadopoulos, that he could deliver Russian dirt on Hillary Clinton. Joining me right now is that one-time Trump campaign advisor, author of the book Deep State Target, George Papadopoulos himself. Congrats on the book. Good to have you here, George.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks
I want to kind of
me.
start at the beginning because you have a really interesting and in some ways very alarming story. I know that you think that this was a bit of a setup, and we'll get to your reasons why. But, you know, let's go back to what, March 2016. You joined the Trump team as a foreign policy advisor, and shortly thereafter you met with this professor from Malta, Mr. Mifsud. How did that all happen?
Yes. So, you're right. In March of 2016, I joined Donald Trump's campaign after I finished working on Ben Carson's campaign. And in between leaving Carson's campaign and joining Trump's campaign, I worked at a company called the London Center for International Law Practice. Now, for anybody who can simply Google this place, you can see that this place is basically operated by people who were connected to either Western governments, Western intelligence services, or, you know, just those type of individuals. Mm-hmm. And I notify them after about a month that, look, I'm going to be joining the Donald Trump campaign. So they became furious and they said, why would you be leaving Donald Trump's campaign? We just recruited you after you left Carson's campaign. And I said, well, look, I'm going back to D.C. and, you know, thank you for your time. They said, before you go, we need to introduce you to somebody. Now, this is where things get very bizarre and what I think John Durham and William Barr are actually starting to look into regarding the origins. Before even the Washington Post knew that I was joining Donald Trump's campaign, a woman named Arvinder Sambe, who was a director at this company, who I later found out was actually connecting UK officials to Bruce Orr, and also had a professional working relationship with Bob Mueller after 9/11, was the one who told me, why don't you go to Rome with the company to this university where we're going to introduce you to many people there who could help you on the Donald Trump campaign. So, of course, none of these people were Russian. Most of these people were either high-level lawyers or connected, like I said, to Western governments, so I didn't think there was anything suspicious.
And where was this place
Rome.
That you go? So in Rome, in Italy. Okay.
Yes, yes. And then I go to Rome to this place called Link Campus, which is currently under investigation by both Italian intelligence services, the Italian government, William Barr, and John Durham.
Hang on one second. We're looking at the gentleman that you met there in Rome, the picture of this gentleman. This is Joseph Mifsud. This is the guy you met.
I can't. Yes, yes. So I meet Joseph Mifsud in Rome after I'm introduced to him at this university by the Italian foreign minister. So you could understand, before even my name is public in the Washington Post, I'm being basically chaperoned in Rome by the Italian foreign minister to meet this individual, Joseph Mifsud. As you correctly stated, at a later meeting in London, approximately on April 26th, after I had been probed already by the Australian government, the British government, and even the U.S. Embassy, he decides to drop this information unsolicited in my lap over brunch at a five-star hotel in London that the Russians have Hillary Clinton's emails and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so
I never asked for this information.
Okay. This is, again, you've been set up with this meeting with him by someone that you say later came out was connected to Bruce Orr, which was Fusion GPS. Nellie Orr, his wife, was connected to Fusion GPS. They introduce you to this Maltese professor who then tells you, I can connect you with Hillary Clinton's emails. By the way, did he have an accent? Like, was he Russian? Was he British? I mean, was he actually born in Malta?
So my understanding is, so he never actually offered me anything. There's this misunderstanding that he was offering something. This was an absolute nobody in terms of any connection whatsoever to Russia. He was clearly some sort of operative, and that's by the West, there to simply dangle or to basically try and sabotage me and by extension the campaign with this false information. He never offered anything. Simply over brunch at a London hotel, he tells me, hey George, did you know that the Russians had Hillary Clinton's emails? Now, the issue here is that this individual was promising to introduce both myself and other people on the campaign to various leaders around the world. He was saying, I know people at the State Department, in Brussels, at the European Parliament, I know the Vietnamese Prime Minister. So it was one of these type of individuals. So, and you hear a lot of gossip about so many different things, especially in political circles. So when he told me this information, I didn't know what to do with it. I basically absorbed it. I never told anybody on the campaign. And after this meeting with him, that's when things became incredibly strange in London. I had the British Ministry of Foreign Affairs reach out to me, wanting to meet with me. The U.S. Embassy from the DIA, these two individuals named Gregory Baker and Terrence Dudley, who I'm not sure where they fit into all of this, because they've randomly contact me and decide they want to take me out for drinks shortly after Mifsud tells me this information. And then we have the Australian who comes a day or two after these DIA officials. So this entire situation that I found myself in from the beginning of March through the beginning of May of 2016 looks like it was very orchestrated, well planned, and there was methodical planning going into it. And unfortunately, for people like Clapper, Brennan, and Comey, and likely some high-level officials at the Obama White House, it looks like all of these individuals were connected to the West and no Russians. So I guess that's what William Barr went to Rome to find out exactly what was going on.
Again, did the Maltese professor Joseph Mifsud, did he have an accent? Did he speak with an American accent or a British accent or a Russian accent?
Basically just one of these non-denominational accents. He had no Russian accent. My understanding is he's an Italian. He's ethnically Italian, but was raised in Malta, and he was very well connected to the Italian government. So a very murky player, shadowy player.
Do you think he's still alive?
Ended up showing up in many strange places. Well, look, apparently, according to Michael Flynn's lawyer, Sidney Powell, who just filed in a very interesting motion last week, Joseph Mifsud was targeting Michael Flynn, as well as me, 3 months before he actually targeted me in Rome. So the coincidences are eerie. I don't think it's a happenstance that Mifsud was involved in Michael Flynn's case, and we're probably going to understand who actually told him to go meet with Flynn as well in 2015.
Because I have many, many more questions for you. I want the viewers to stay with us. We have George Papadopoulos here on the show tonight, and we're going to be back with a whole lot more on this. See you here.